Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a deep dive into one of Scotland's most iconic and haunted locations, Edinburgh Castle. This place is absolutely steeped in history and one that comes with a fair share of eerie tales and chilling ghost sightings. It's no surprise that it's often ranked as one of the most haunted places in the world. So let's start with one of the castle's most famous spirits, the Lone Piper. Now, if you've never heard this story before, it's one of those classic ghost stories that really sticks with you. Now, according to legend, many years ago, tunnels were discovered under the castle leading to the Royal Mile. A young piper was sent into these tunnels to explore, playing his bagpipes as he went, so the people above could follow his progress. But something strange happened. Halfway through the tunnel, his playing just stopped. Now, when a search party went down to find him, he had vanished, completely disappeared, with no trace of what happened to him. Now, ever since, visitors and staff have reported hearing the faint sound of bagpipes coming from underground, echoing through the castle walls. Now, whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's hard to deny that hearing bagpipes in the dead of night, coming from beneath the ground, is enough to send chills through your spine. But the Lone Piper isn't the only ghost tied to Edinburgh Castle. In fact, this place is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Another famous spirit is that of a headless drummer. This apparition is said to appear only when the castle is in danger. The first recorded sighting of him was in 1650, just before Oliver Cromwell's army invaded. The ghost of the drummer has been spotted several times since, usually during times of unrest or tension. Witnesses describe him as a figure wearing traditional Scottish military attire, minus one key detail, his head. Now, the thing about Edinburgh Castle is that it's not just the paranormal activity that makes it creepy. The castle itself has a long and brutal history. For centuries, it served as a stronghold and a prison. The castle's dungeons are notorious for their harsh conditions, with countless prisoners being held and tortured there over the years. Some of the most infamous prisoners were French and American soldiers captured during the 7 Years' War and the American War of Independence. These men were kept in the castle's dark, dank dungeons, and many of them died from the horrendous conditions. It's said that their restless spirits still roam the lower levels of the castle, and visitors often report feeling intense cold or sudden bursts of fear when they enter the dungeon area. Let's not forget about the prisoners of war who were kept in the vaults beneath the castle during the Napoleonic Wars. Some of these men etched their names and messages into the stone walls, reminders of their despair. The paranormal activity in these vaults is some of the most intense in the entire castle. People have reported seeing ghostly apparitions, feeling sudden drops in temperature, and hearing whispers in the darkness. One particularly eerie story involves visitors who claim to have been grabbed or pushed by unseen hands while touring the vaults. Now imagine that. You're walking through the dimly lit vaults, maybe already feeling a bit uneasy, and then suddenly something cold grabs you, but there's no one there. That's the kind of experience that really does stick with you. Now here's the thing about Edinburgh Castle. It's not just a single haunting. It's layers upon layers of history and tragedy, and with that comes countless ghost stories. It's like the entire structure has absorbed the energy of the people who lived, fought, and died there. Every stone feels like it holds a secret, and every dark corner feels like it could be hiding something just out of sight. Now, what's interesting is that even the modern-day yeoman warders, the people who guard the castle, have their own stories of eerie encounters. These aren't just tourists getting spooked on a tour. These are people who spend their lives at the castle. Some have reported hearing footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, seeing shadowy figures, and even feeling like they're being watched when there's no one else around. So what do you think? Could all of these ghost stories be tied to the castle's long and violent history, or is it just people's imaginations getting the best of them? And let me ask you this. If you ever had the chance to visit Edinburgh Castle at night, would you be brave enough to walk through the dungeons alone? Let me know in the comments what you think about Edinburgh Castle and its haunted history. Have you ever been there? Did you ever experience anything when you were there? Or do you have your own paranormal stories from other places? I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this, then make sure to stick around for future videos, as we've got a lot more paranormal locations to explore. Stay tuned for more haunted histories, and until then, stay curious, stay safe, and maybe think twice before wandering around old castles at night.